Shruti vipratipanna te yada sthasyati nischala samadho achala buddhis tada yogam avapsyasi. Hello friends, this is the 53rd shlok of the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and in today's video we will understand this shlok in detail. So let's first go over its meaning. So the shlok says Shruti vipratipanna, which means not affected by Shruti. Te yada sthasyati nischala, which means when situated in the unmoving, your Samadho achala buddhistada, which means intellect in unmoving samadhi, then yogam apsyasi, which means you attain yoga. So over here, the discussion from the previous shlok is continuing, and Shri Krishna is telling Arjuna about the limitations of religious text and the limitations of the process of knowing. So in yesterday's video, we talked about how the process of knowing in itself is limiting. So it limits our potential. When we know something, then we limit ourselves to our knowledge, and we cling to our knowledge, and therefore it limits our whole potential towards knowing the truth. So that same idea is going on over here, and over here Sri Krishna is talking about Shruti. Now Shruti, when you look at this word, the meaning of this word is hear or hearing, and it is also related to the religious texts that we talk about. So the Upanishads and the Vedas, they are all called Shruti, and if you were to translate it into English, then roughly you can translate it as revelation. So basically, these texts are divine revelations that came to our rishis when they were situated in samadhi. So Shri Krishna is talking about the limitations of the Shruti itself, and he's saying that when you become unaffected by the Shruti and you locate your intellect in the stable and unmoving, then you attain samadhi and therefore attain union with the divine, which is yoga. So over here, what you have to understand is that Shri Krishna is not really talking about the Shruti basically to be bad in itself, but he's saying that Shruti has a limitation. So Shruti, as we have discussed, means hearing, and hearing is one of the ways through which we gain knowledge. And the thing is that we attain our knowledge mostly from external sources. If we are in a samadhi, then that's a different situation. But when we are living a normal life, then most of the information that we get, actually all of the information that we get it from external sources. Now this information that we get from the external sources is not a very reliable source of information, because the thing is that whenever any information is transmitted from one person to the other, there is always a filter of interpretation that comes into place. So if you'll see, when two people are conversing with each other, one person says something and the other person completely interprets in a different way. So whenever an information is conveyed from one person to the other, there is always a loss of information. Now when the revelations come to divine people, when they are in union with the divine, even then when they are communicating that revelation, there is a lot of loss of information that happens over there also. So that is the reason why religious text cannot really be trusted very well, because even the person who got the revelation by himself might not completely understand what has been revealed to him or her, because there is always a point of view which is associated when we limit ourselves to a body, or limit ourselves to something manifest. As soon as we manifest into something solid, something physical, then we always limit ourselves to a certain point of view, and therefore any revelation or any Shruti which then comes to us, it always develops a point of view. So the only way for a person to really know the truth is to have direct access to the Shruti, and therefore Sri Krishna over here is saying that you should not be affected by the Shruti in itself. When your mind is stable and you are in samadhi, then only you will attain union with the divine, and the information that you will get over there through the divine, that is really the true information. So Basically, what you have to understand is that religious texts are good to a certain extent, but they are always limited, and therefore they should not be taken very seriously, especially when you have been able to attain samadhi. In that situation, you will not really care too much about these religious texts because you'll have direct access to truth in itself. And that is why you have seen that most of the enlightened people, they generally have said that Vedas are good, but they are not the absolute truth. It's only the people who have not attained that level of understanding who keep saying that Vedas are absolute truth, or whatever other religious texts, Quran is absolute truth, the Bible is absolute truth, and things like that. So I hope I have explained this shlok well to you. With that, I'll close this video. I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.